Time for the Tesla and Palantir weekly update and some good news for Tesla fans, and that is it closed back above the 50% level, which was, what was that level exactly? It's kind of hidden there. Let's zoom out. Yeah, 258.15 exactly. So closed above it. It closed at 260.46. This was the first weekly candle close above it since right here, October 2nd, 2023. So that's right, it's almost exactly a year for it to finally break free of that zone. So now the goal is going to be seeing if it can stay in this new range from the 258s all the way up to the 295s to this previous high up here and the 618. So we could see some carry on momentum to go up towards the previous candles here, but it could run into some resistance in the 270s, the low 270s right there. But what I would like to see is maybe maintain this 258 for now on. And we can put on the other indicators too. We can put on the Ichimoku and the SMA, or the weekly SMAs here, and it's completely gone broken out above the cloud. Now it's looking really good, and we got almost, yeah, we do have all the moving averages now are sloping up. The 100-week moving average, the 50-week moving average, the 200-week moving average, the conversion line. The baseline's not sloping up yet, but it's going to be there, right? So basically, everything is now sloping up, and we really haven't seen everything sloping up in a very, very long time. So this is a very great development. See, even when price was up here in the 270s, the 100-week moving average was still sloping down, and so was the 50, right? So this is a huge development that these moving averages are sloping up now. This is really confirmation that it's the beginning of something massive, the beginning of something beautiful, because everything is trending in the right direction now, and that is from bottom left to top right, and sloping up is what is very, very, very important for things to be bullish. And now all that's missing is a higher high. So I want to see a weekly candle close above this 271. Now that we have everything sloping up here, just a weekly candle close above 271. And then I think it'll be off to 295 and then maybe 300s and so on and so forth. So this is literally just the beginning, and things are looking more and more beautiful. And then next month, or next week, sorry, I should say, is the monthly candle close. So we're going to do the monthly chart here just to show you what's going on. And sure enough, the top of the cloud this month still sits right there at 274. So I think that could be a possibility for price to close maybe next week, and that would be a higher high from the previous highs. So this is looking really, really good for continuation. Maybe it might take a few more months to break out of the cloud. I'm not sure yet, but the target is going to be to continue higher. And I'm hoping that this 258.15 to the 295.05, this is going to be the new trading zone for Tesla. And if that happens, then great things to come, and then things will get back to the 786 up at 347 in no time. And next, I'm going to show you the Tesla weekly chart on linear scale here. And we can see the developments. We can see when it broke out of my angle, it just accelerated, and now it's going towards that level. And what else sits up here at the 274? Next week? Well, that's right. It's the arc. And what was that 274 again? If you need a reminder, it was the top of the monthly Ichimoku cloud that I just showed you. So there's a lot of confluence of that 274. That price could be a magnet for that price. So I think the goal of next week is to get to 274. And if it closes the week at 274 or above, then that'll be really bullish for continuation and more continuation and things to go higher. And my next level does sit up here at 358. So that will take some time to get to, but just wanted to point that out for the future reference that that is going to be a target. So very bullish developments on this linear scale GAN as well. And next, I'm going to show you the log scale GAN just for future reference. And here's the log scale GAN right here, and we can see where price is gravitating towards. And again, this blue level sits around 291, and that 291 was the 618 level, right? It was around 292. Like, we can go back there right now just to take a look. What was it? The 618, oh, 295.05, right? So this level right here sits around 291. So that's exactly around that 618 level too, which I think eventually will be a magnet for price. And one thing I want to do point out too is I haven't showed you the log scale Fibonacci's yet for this particular chart. So swing high to swing low down here. We'll zoom out. And what just happened with this log scale fib? It broke the 618 for the first time in a while, right? The first time in a while, it broke the 618. It had a weekly candle close above it. So if that 258 doesn't hold as support, I think this 242.44 will hold as a support. So this is looking like a new log scale trading range for sure for Tesla. So 242 to 272 up here, possibly even the 300s up above as well. So again, this chart, I couldn't be more bullish on it right now. Not only is everything sloping up with all the moving averages and everything, but the Fibonacci levels are getting broken one level at a time. The Ichimoku cloud is about to get broken on the monthly chart too. The top of the cloud is 274, which is kind of right around this 702, 272, 79. So all signs point to me, whether it's next week or the week after, I think the 270s are coming, and I think they're coming pretty fast, simply because they could be just a magnet for price. And next we have Palantir, and Palantir here on the weekly chart is looking very good still, right? It was a doji candle this week, but guess what? It's 2 consecutive weeks. I'll zoom in here. 2 consecutive weeks in a row that it closed above this 786, the 36.64 level. And the more weeks it closes above this level, then the better the chance of price going up to the 886 and the $1 level. But this ultimately confirms to me that even if price did go back down to the 702, the 33.36, it would just be a back test to go higher, right? So for to me, it wouldn't make sense to take profits here because usually every time price breaks through the 786, whether it goes down or not, over time, it's going to gravitate higher, higher and higher and higher. And I don't want to be left behind. So therefore, I'm just going to go enjoy the ride and then see how high things can go. And eventually, if it does break that one level, it will get to the 1.272, 55, then the 1414, 61, then the 1618, 69.13, and so on, right? So the trend is your friend, and right now it's looking really good. We could even break it down to a daily chart just to see what's really going on here, and you can see every single day, one, two, three, yeah, every day this week, it touched the 786 every single day, and it closed above. So this is a very good trend. We can put on our daily Ichimoku just to see if the trend is exhausting, and it kind of is, right? It did finally close a day underneath this conversion line here for the first time in a long time, right? But it's done it before, and the last time I did it, it kind of just went sideways. So this time too, it could just go sideways until it's ready to go higher again. So again, there's nothing bad about this chart at all, and I actually would enjoy it if it did go a little bit lower, just because that would be an opportunity, right? But I'm not sure if the market makers are gonna give that opportunity to us, so we'll have to wait and see. And let's just take a look at the monthly chart too, just to see how things are developing on a month-to-month basis for Palantir. So monthly chart, yeah, you can see the conversion line is way down here at 26.93. I don't think there's a chance of that getting to it, but everything is kind of upward sloping as well. There are no monthly moving averages yet, just because it is still a relatively young chart. But if we do pull up the Bollinger Bands for the month, we can see how they are looking, and it's getting kind of extended, right? You can see the top of the Bollinger Band is at 3406, and it's shooting directly above, making them expand. And you can see the bottom of the Bollinger Band is expanding a little bit too, with the upper one too. So this could be a really bullish close, and then the next month could keep on pressing up against that Bollinger Band too, making it expand more and more and more. So this is a very bullish development for Palantir, something that could be very explosive and might not let anybody enter that's trying to buy lower. So I think just enjoy the ride, whether it goes down to consolidate a little bit or just continues to go higher. But things are looking really good for the future still, regardless. Now let's go check out the log scale chart. And here is the log scale chart from the bottom of December of 2022, just straight up this angle. This angle is the most important thing on the chart right now because it was resistance for a while, but it's back above it again for support. And this is another reason why I think it's not going to go too much lower and it could just drift sideways. So next week, you're kind of looking at price just going higher and higher and higher, or it could open like right here, right? It could open right above the angle, and if you went down next week, that angle support would be around 36.29, or the arc support could be around 35.47. So remember, price could go down to these levels next week and still by Friday close the week above that 786 Fibonacci level and this angle as well. So even if things trend lower during the week, they still have the opportunity and the potential to go higher throughout the rest of the week. So I still think what happens next, regardless if it goes down or not, it's going to gravitate higher and higher towards the top arc here, and that could be some bigger resistance, and that'll be around 40.55, maybe 40.40, just depending on time. Or if the angle and the arc line up perfectly, that'll be right there around 39.39. Let's just call it 40 exactly. So I think the trend is going to be to 40, but whether it cools down a little bit or not, that's still yet to be decided. But either way, this has a bullish future, and what I see coming up in this future is maybe a minimum of a $100 Palantir by the year September 2025, right? So I think if you just look down here at that number, I think that's a very possible situation if it just keeps following this angle all the way up throughout time. So in 1 year, having a $100 Palantir, it's not too shabby. So the future does look bright, and just ignore the day to day because the trend is your friend. And right now, things want to keep going higher.